Good morning everybody and welcome back to the channel. Now today I'm excited because I'm using my Canon RF 16mm lens on my Canon R6. Now I got this lens and the reason I picked it up was because I wanted a vlogging lens and I wanted to be able to use it on my Canon R6. Now one of the really big disappointments to me and a lot of other people that got this lens was that you couldn't really use it on the Canon R6 as a vlog lens because the IBIS Wobble was so bad. And I really held on to my RP because that doesn't have IBIS, so I found the digital IS using the Canon RF 16mm worked really well for vlogging, even though then I'm dealing with 8-bit video, I don't have the extra dynamic range, I wasn't able to really use my Canon R6. But now that we have version 1.6 firmware out for the Canon R6, it has made a huge difference for vlogging around and moving around, where I would have had very severe IBIS wobble. And I'm just holding this with just my hand and nothing else, and I'm extending way out. I'm definitely shaking a bit, so we're going to see how this footage comes out. But the IBIS wobble has gotten so much better that I can actually use this lens now. How we looking? We getting IBIS wobble? Now it was funny, when I looked up the notes for the latest firmware update, and you know, they released it alongside of the Canon R5 and the 1DX Mark III, and you look at the features that they added to all of those cameras, and they were like paragraph long features. They're getting all kinds of cool things, higher frame rate shooting, all kinds of new features. And then you took a look at the R6 firmware update and it was like bug fixes, and it made digital IS a little better for wide angle lenses. Now, I did get really excited when I saw the wide angle lenses thing, but I didn't expect it to be this good. And I have to say, I've been testing it out since I got the firmware. I haven't had any bugs with the firmware. The firmware seems to be very, very stable. But not only that, the IBIS wobble has been fixed, which is honestly a huge thing for me in being able to use my RF 16mm lens on my Canon R6 now. So it's breathing new life into my lens. So thank you, Canon. This was a really big help. I mean, I wish it would have been out when I got the lens, but it's here now and I'm super happy about it. Now, I've been testing this out for the last few days, and it's honestly such a breath of relief to be able to use my 16mm lens. It's so wide angle, I don't have to actually extend my arm all the way out when I'm vlogging. I now get to actually use my IBIS, so it's really smooth just walking around. The IBIS wobble doesn't present itself nearly as much. I'm not saying it's 100% perfect. It's not like having a full-on gimbal, but it's pretty close now, and I can actually use handheld vlogging footage, and that is just such a huge thing for me. So I'm actually really loving this firmware update, even though I didn't get all the cool features from the other cameras, and I didn't get all the cool stuff, and maybe they didn't show the R6 as much love as they did the other cameras. I know a lot of other people were complaining about that, but I am very, very happy to have this firmware update because this IBIS wobble has now been fixed on wide-angle lenses, breathing new life into my RF 16mm f2.8 lens. So while we may have not got the best firmware update out of the group, obviously we got shown the least amount of love from the R5, the 1DX Mark III, or the R6. But I'm extremely happy that the IBIS wobble issue has been dealt with for wide-angle lenses, and I think this is going to open up a lot more ability to use this lens as an actual vlog lens, which makes me extremely happy. So anyway, guys, I hope that this information helped out a few of you. If it did, go below, subscribe, click that notification bell, and I'll see you on my next video.